Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on board another Abel Jets Virtual Group live stream. I am your host, as always, Freezing Falcon, founder and CEO of Abel Jets Virtual Group. I hope that you are all doing well wherever you are watching this live stream from. And I suppose it's really been a long time since the last time that we flew or we did any live stream in the Abel Jets Virtual Group YouTube channel. First things first, I'd like to apologize for the absence of any live streams in this YouTube channel in the past 2 weeks or so. Primarily because of my device that I usually use to live stream. Unfortunately, it had some BSOD problems, blue screen of death, as I've mentioned in the community section of this YouTube channel, where it appears that there were some, let's say, quite severe damage to the main board of this device, which needed it to be replaced and costed me quite a lot of fortune. But fortunately, here I am. Back safe and sound with my device and ready to start flying again and hopefully live streaming again, as we are trying again this evening. Some of you might have noticed that this particular live stream was actually scheduled to be run like 2 weeks ago, exactly on the day that my computer experienced BSODs. There was very unfortunate. In this evening's live stream, ladies and gentlemen, we will be flying from 2 major cities in Japan with the not already so recently released PMDG 777-200ER anymore. It was when, you know, the original stream date was scheduled on, I think that was like June 14th or something, 2 or 3 weeks ago. So yeah, basically we'll be taking the PMDG 777-200ER back for another spin. This time we will be flying with MahouAir VA airline. It's basically the Abel Jets Virtual Group Japanese subsidiary, full-service subsidiary that is, operating out of many major cities throughout Japan, domestically and internationally as well. The aircraft that you are seeing here is registered as Juliet Alpha 4771 and bears the nose name of Smooth Breeze, as you might have known. All MahouAir VA airline aircraft are named with the wording or the names of Breeze. This particular airplane that we will be flying this evening, ladies and gentlemen, uses the Pratt & Whitney 4000, if I'm not mistaken. Pratt & Whitney 4000 96-ish turbofan engines. As you know, back in the day, the 777 had 3 engine options basically. The Pratt & Whitney 4000, and then there was also the Rolls-Royce Trent 700, if I'm not mistaken, which obviously British Airways and many other airlines in Europe opted for that engine option. And of course the almighty GE90, which the GE90 version, I think that was used for the 777-200 and 200ER, were actually the derated version at about 94,000 pounds of thrust, if I'm not mistaken, slightly less powerful than the ones used in the 777-300ER, which are rated at 115,000 pounds of thrust each. For this evening's flight, ladies and gentlemen, we will be departing out of Fukuoka, the largest city on the Fukuoka prefecture itself, or Fukuoka Island on the southern side of Japan. We're heading towards Sapporo, the largest city on the northern, I can't really call the name of the northern island there in Japan, I'm sorry folks. If there are any Japanese folks here watching this live stream, I'd like to apologize in advance. Yeah, Hokkaido, on Hokkaido, with the city of Sapporo, the largest city there. Flight time today will be about 2 hours and 20 minutes. We cruise along at flight level 410 according to the flight plan generated by SimBrief. As you can see, there is Naval Jets Platinum Airbus A350 1000 on our left hand side. You can see that. As usual, it is Lalu, the most consistent man I've ever met. Who is quite literally always there whenever we are doing live streams such as this one. Alright folks, before we start this evening's live stream, I'll try to file a flight plan into SimBrief, into VATSIM, and prepare ourselves for this evening's group flight, or stream actually. Flight plan itself has been filed into VATSIM. Unfortunately folks, it appears that we do have some ATC coverage here at Fukuoka. We've got tower online with ATC information Bravo. Alright folks, without further ado, let's head into the flight deck of the MahouAir Virtual Airline 777-200ER and set her up for our flight this evening to Sapporo. As you can see, we've got some art and paintwork on the engines of the aircraft. Just want to give some custom touches to the aircraft, especially the engines, to make them not so monotone, should I say. What a beautiful looking aircraft, isn't she? Smooth Breeze is her nose name there. Alright, let's head in. As usual, I haven't done much besides firing up the electricals and aligning the IRS. So yeah, we've got tower online, frequency of 118.4. Alright. This is the first time that I fire up VATSIM also in this device, since the last time it went through a major overhaul. Push to talk, headphones, mic volume. Just go to 1. That should be good. .4 is the frequency. Let's tune that in. Just tower. And as usual folks, we will be opening a company frequency at 123.210 MHz in case that you want to chat along us in this group flight. 118.4. Okay, VHF right. That'll be on 123.210, the company frequency as always. And set a standby to the 80s on 127.2. There we go. Go back to VHF1. Loudest call sign this evening is Abel Jets Platinum 225 at VATSIM, flying the A350 1000 by Abel's.
Company frequency, radio check.
There goes Lalu as usual. Go ahead, company. Request radio check, please.
555, hello sir.
Yep, Cap, thank you. Alright, been a while. I haven't heard his voice in about 2 weeks or so. Alright, should be good. Flight plan itself has been pre-filed into VATSIM. Let's do the overhead checks now. Open the door actually. GSX. Okay. Remember that we'll be flying or operating this flight in pounds, folks, considering that Japan uses the imperial system, just like in the US. Battery electricals are on, that should be alright. Emergency lights switch to armed, window heats on. Hydraulics will leave them. Seatbelts off for now. Pressure brightness, overheads. Yeah, we'll fire those up. Clear shield panels. Should be good as well. Engine fire test. Looking good. Do the catering first. Catering surface. That'll do.
Catering vehicles are on their way.
Sure. Fuel, I will leave them off. Anti-ice on auto. Loco can come on. Lights test. Looks good. Packs are off. Pressurization off. We'll check the outside at temperature 27 degrees centigrade.
Going around.
We'll just fire up the APU now.
787, execute miss approach, monitor it convert to the decimal rate. It convert to the decimal rate, 787.
We'll just fire up the APU now, shall we? Considering that it's quite warm in here. Or do we have packs actually? The AC units. Oh, there we go. We've got the air conditioning units. Let's connect that. Hopefully the cabin should become slightly cooler. So yeah, packs are fine. Moving on to the pedestal here, ladies and gentlemen. Our tests are complete. Engine start switches are cut off. Take tests on above for now. Evac press test, looks good. Floor lights not required. Yeah, we'll set the transponder code later on once we are ready to receive our squawk code. And there goes the packs, the air conditioning vehicles, sorry, the air conditioning cart rather, as well as the catering truck being attached to the R1 door of the aircraft, as you can see. Hopefully the overlays of the live stream doesn't block the aircraft there. Right. Fortunately, my mouse is not doing well, but let me just see. Oh, folks, unfortunately, Fukuoka Tower is closing, considering that there are many aircraft in Haneda, but no one's controlling the airport. Alright, it's okay. Yeah, Haneda's very busy, it appears to be. Tiap lalu.
Haneda.
Towernya pindah ke Haneda, Cap. Sibuk di sana soalnya.
Oke. Ya udah. Free apa? Free.
Ya wes biasalah ya Unicom.
Siap. Aku makan dulu ya.
Aman aja, Bang. Alright. Fortunately, as I've mentioned, the tower is moving to Haneda to control the traffic there. It is alright, completely fine. We can do this by our own. Alright, let's now import our flight plan from Sim Brief into Navgraph, as we can see here. Alright, there we go. Runway 16 left for departure, but yeah, as you can see, we've got some pretty strong tailwind. Yokata. You know what, folks? Let's just try to find a seat for us here. Yokata 6 via Butour, I think that'll work. Yokata 6 via Butour. Yeah, that'll do. Okay. Now let's do the administrative stuff here. EFB, let's import a flight plan, which is the dock. There we go. Flight plan has been received, and we'll import the data here into the FMCs of the 777. Yeah. Do route request, import route. Set payload, confirm that is in pounds. That is checked in pounds. And fuel in pounds. 46.7 thousand pounds of fuel, which are checked. Let's set the route. Activate. There goes the route. Legs, route data, we'll load the wind data as well. Execute, VNAV, forecast, load. Go back to Unicom, folks. No, we are already in Unicom. That'll do. I haven't flown this 777 in a while, or actually any aircraft in the simulator. To be frank with you folk. What's the temperature inside the cabin now? Let's see, air. 34 degrees Celsius, yeah, not bad at all. So we've got the ACs. Brake sword. So the parking brakes will definitely, you know, drain the accumulator pressure, the brake pressure of the aircraft, but it'll be charged once we've, you know, we've recharged the accumulators with the hydraulics. Alright, perf in it. Costed X150 will be cruising at level 410 as planned by sim brief. Zero fuel weight, 371,000 pounds. 71.8, that'll do. Block fuel 46.7. Yeah, that'll do. RPS thrust limitations, we'll do that later on. Routes. What I got off runway 16 left via the Yokata 6 departure, Butor transition. Check that on the legs page. Go step by step. Full tour and mark area, that'll do. There goes the automatic alternates for this evening. Alright, yeah, runway fix info. RJFF.
Fukuoka Frontier Korean Air 787 having a final approach on a 16 left, 3 miles left. Fukuoka traffic.
158 is the final course. Sorry, the runway heading. Actually, because we are pausing. Which is just to add some situational awareness. In that case, that. Start the boarding process. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I completely forgot to fire up St. Tensions.
Frequency, radio check.
5x5 cap.
Oke. Aku cuma ngetes pindah headset ya.
Mana cek lebih jelas suaranya sekarang. Alright, let's fire up St. Tensions .ai for the flight attendant feature. Please forgive me about this, folks. I haven't really flown anything in the past 3 weeks or so, yeah. I definitely forget a thing or two. Alright, entourage. Intercom radio. 16,000.
China United 820 9 runway 16 right, Goa traffic.
Let me try to set say intentions for a bit here. Permanent crew. We'll just say Erica as usual. Alright, let me try to assign a toggle for the what's it called, the intercom.
Goa traffic, China United 820, taking off runway 16 right, Goa traffic.
Let's switch number 3. No. That's not it. Switch number 4, I think this is. Intercom 1, T16,000, button number 4. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, right. Let's try that out. Doesn't work. Alright, I know what's the issue here. Let's try that again. Still doesn't work. Funnily enough, it's somehow linking the wind wing autopilot panel, which I recently purchased, actually works as the main intercom button here. Just try to remove this. Fingers crossed it'll do something. Yeah, it still doesn't want to do anything, unfortunately. Yeah, it somehow overrides my T16,000M to the wind wing PAP 3, which I happen to have. Not assigned, really. The controls are working just fine, but the application doesn't want to do anything. What about the TWCS controls? No, it's always going to the PAP3, unfortunately. Now this is just weird. 216,000. Yeah, they are off. Everything's off. Very bizarre indeed. Apologies for the inconvenience here, folks. I'm just trying to figure out the controls. Intercom channel 1. Or I might actually do something quite experimental here. Fingers crossed it will not crash anything, but you know what, folks? Let's just not use same intentions for this flight, folks. I don't want any CDDs to be caused by the software. So yeah, we'll just leave that off for now. So I was thinking about unplugging my autopilot panel and binding the my joystick to the same tensions tab. Well, yeah, I'll just do that after this stream has ended. Alright, so no FAs for the day, that is alright. Just boarding. Yeah. There goes the jetway being connected. And also the GSEs. Okay. Set the checklist page here. Not now. Checklist. Go. Oxygen. Left side's good. Right side's good as well. Alright, so pre-flight checklist, oxygen tested 100%, flight instruments heading 070, altimeter 2979er. Last time I checked. That is checked. Talkie brake is set. Flight checklist is complete. Alright, setting up the MCP now. 158 is the departure heading. 15 degrees. Traffic as well. Initial climb. We'll just do 10,000 for now. Transition altitude is 14,000. 10,000, that is checked by default. Let's do the takeoff performance calculations. Should be here, runway 16 left for departure. $277 is now the current QNH or altimeter. It is set. The ISO packs are auto. Flaps 5 for departure. Takeoff 2 with a rated thrust of 38 degrees Celsius. 38 degrees Celsius. Track flaps 5 for departure. 32, 35, 39. Yeah, that cross tracks, but we'll leave them later on until we receive our final load sheet. 139 is our V2 here. You see me scrolling through the MCP controls there without the need of looking at it. This is because I've recently purchased a Winwing PAB3 autopilot. Not recently, I've actually pre-ordered it like 3 or 4 months ago, but the unit just arrived. That's basically it. So I'll do an official stream of that later on, hopefully. But yeah, for now I'll just try to set up a stream for the stream setup itself. I mean the aircraft and the laptop that I've recently overhauled, ARM LNAV, BNAV as well. That cross checks on the PAP3 as well, which is an absolutely stunning unit, if you are saying. Right, let's do the departure briefing, shall we, folks? So we'll be departing out of Fukuoka, runway 16 left. Some quite significant tailwinds there at 4 knots. Back from stand number 11. Facing to the northwest, expecting taxiway Yankee, full-length departure out of runway 16 left, Echo 2. That'll be quite a short taxi for us. And then the departure out of the primary runway here. Secondary runway is 16 right, as you can see. Your cut 6 on after departure. Yeah, from the runway we'll fly towards initial climb to 10,000 feet out above, to Yokat, Koza, Braid and Putur, before then proceeding to rejoin the airway at waypoint Marco. Town F set. Transition altitude is 14,000 feet. Let's input that into the FMC of the aircraft on the VNAV page. Oh, it's always there. Should be good. Okay, 14,000 feet is set. Yokat 6 departure by a full tour. The MSA around the airport reference point is 5,000 feet. In case of an engine failure, loss of control or wind shear after departure, we'll fly runway heading, maintain at least 5,000 feet. Track the cues and flaps on schedule and start the troubleshooting through the ICAS and such. We'll then proceed to return back to the airport if it is safe to do so via the ILS into runway 16 left, the runway that we'll be departing out of. We are below our maximum landing weight for this evening, so we can immediately return back to Fukuoka in case that we need to. Completely forgot to say that yeah, after flying runway heading, we will be holding at 25 nautical miles from the airport. Do hold there at least 5,000 feet. Right hand turns, 1 minute legs, which we will program once we are airborne if we encounter such failure or issues. Yeah, right. Do they have any NADB procedures that need to be followed to be complied with. Spot. I'll just use NADP2. This is Japan, folks. They really, you know, value serenity and stuff. Yeah, acceleration height 800 feet. Thrust reduction will be at 3000. That'll do. Set 139 here on the standby speed bump. There we go. Boarding's actually complete, funnily enough. Not a lot of passengers for this evening's flight from Fukuoka to Sapporo on the island of Hokkaido. And on the other hand, folks, I completely forgot to fire up the AP of the aircraft. Lalu there, on the other hand, he seems to be very eager to push back already. What a lovely sight. Yap, kalau mau pushback duluan nggak apa-apa, runway 16 left ya.
Wait. Oh, aku baru import tapi belum setting lagi.
Aman aja. Let's fire up the APU, folks. Firing up the APU now. Starting the APU. We'll disconnect the ground AC units. This boarding is complete. Let's assume that we've received our final load sheet. Closed door, doors closed. Speeds 132, 135, 139. Respect. APU is still spooling up. Alright, APU's up and running. APU bleed is indeed on. We'll fire up the fuel bombs. Disconnect the GPU. Pulse tube on. Close the GPU and the truck as well. Alright, before start procedure now, folks. Hopefully this is the correct way it should be done, because I completely forgot how to do that accordingly. Hydraulics are set. Brake light should disappear, which is looks as such. Beacon lights can come on. Request for push and start. Here goes the tug. At the front checkers, please. Flight doors closed and locked. Passenger signs are set. MCP 139158 10,000 checked. Takeoff speeds V1132, VR135, ET139. CD brief flight completed. Trim 5.25. We'll set that now. There we go. Trim set. Taxi and takeoff will be completed. Beacons on. Or start checklist is complete. Pause the music for push and start. And play the official Abel Jets Virtual Group safety briefing video as always. Spot 11, isn't it? Yeah. Taxiway Yankee. Here we come. Let's announce our intentions. Northwest. Yeah, northwest onto Yankee. Fukuoka traffic, Mahora 120 now pushing back from spot 11 facing to the northwest, expecting taxiway Yankee and runway 16 left for departure. Fukuoka. Oops. Come on, mouse. Oops. Completely forgot about this. There we go. Roger. There goes this Flyflix IFE and the safety briefing video as always.
Hello everyone,
there goes the red lines, flying engines number
welcome on board
2
one of our aircraft that is part of
1 at the same time.
Strong fleet. We're glad to be
Starting
your
engines
airline
number
for your
2
flight
then
today.
1.
Before we
2
take
and
off,
1, not 2 then 1.
please watch the safety briefing video that will be provided by our cabin crew.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
In 2013, when we made this airline, we concluded that safety is our highest priority. All aircraft already equipped with safety devices such as seatbelt, oxygen mask, and life vests. In accordance with the International Civil Aviation Organization, seatbelts shall be used when in flight. So whenever the seatbelt sign is lit, please fasten your seatbelt by inserting the plastic in the buckle and tighten by pulling the strap. You can undo your seatbelt by pressing the button.
there's a lot of people coming into Tokyo, folks. About 40 aircraft.
Welcome
Wow.
to our maintenance facility. The MF is the
Looks
world's
like there's a
leading
VATSIM event or something.
We have this big hangar which is able to accommodate up to 8 jumbos and 3
Brakes are set.
times. This is the proof that we never jeopardize safety. Also, we changed the
Well,
life
we're gonna have a
jacket
good engine
whenever
start.
an aircraft is entering the facility.
We are off. Sorry,
In the
power
event
down
of
the
emergency
APU,
landing,
flaps point for
please
departure.
take a moment to locate your life jackets. It will be below your seat, under the seat in front of you, or under the bed for first class passenger. To use the life jacket, simply take your life jacket, put it over your head,
After
pass
start
the strap around your waist,
checklist, sorry,
clip
first
at the
taxi
front
checklist
and
anti-ice
There's
is
a red tag and
auto
for inflation.
recall.
Whistle to attract attention. Please inflate your life jacket after leaving the aircraft.
checked. Auto precaution of flight controls. Flight control check ready. Pull up. Pull down. Neutral. Pull left. Pull right. Neutral. Reverse.
Whenever the
Pull
aircraft
left.
loses the oxygen pressure,
Pull right.
a mask
Neutral.
will drop from
Flight
above.
control check
put it on your
completed.
nose and tighten the strap. Oxygen will flow when
Ground
you breathe.
equipment.
Secure your mask first before
Wait for the
assisting
hand
others.
signal there on the right hand side. The signal has been received, pin on the right hand side. Thank you very much for the service. Separate one. Ground equipment is clear before taxi
2020,
checklist is
with the world
complete.
leaders in aviation by
Before
number
takeoff
of
checklist,
aircraft
flaps
by
5,
over
green
3,000
light for
airplane
takeoff
divided
checklist is
into more
complete.
than
We
10
are,
child
we'll
companies,
clear that one
including
out.
the Abel Pixel,
This one will go
Abel
to.
SAR, Abel Cosmos,
I'll just leave that as is. Weather's really nice around
and
here.
many more. Also in 2020, we were the first to
Okay, let's,
introduce the aviation
taxi,
first
shall we?
Abel Jets living room, Abel Premium Economy, Abel Business, Abel First Class, and Abel Suite.
Is it like Kilo 6? Yeah, Kilo 6, Yankee, Kilo 6. Fukuoka traffic. Mahora 120 now taxiing to runway 16 left via Yankee, Kilo 6 Alpha, holding short of Echo 2. Runway 16 left.
Safety is our priority.
Fukuoka traffic.
Smoking isn't allowed on any part of the aircraft. Please deboard the aircraft. If you need to smoke,
Stop moving.
your aircraft is equipped with a life raft in case of emergency water landing. Please take a moment to identify your nearest emergency exit. The cabin crew is pointing it now.
We are now near our departure time. Please switch your mobile devices onto airplane now. If you do have any questions, feel free to ask them to our cabin crew. They will be more than glad to help you out. Thank you for choosing us, and thank you for keeping our dreams alive. Have a very pleasant flight.
Start pressing to the left.
Runway 31 left, departure from Chinese Central Direct off.
Sorry, last station calling. Is the active runway 34 right or 16 left? My apologies.
Runway 4 left and home start taxi off.
Roger, runway 9 left, clear for takeoff.
This is Airbus 71 Quebec Alpha. Expect 34 right.
Roger, runway 34 right. Thank you very much. Why are we not moving? Alright.
Jadi ganti triple right, now triple left.
AFM cap runway change.
Roger, runway change triple left.
34 right cap.
Roger.
When we change folks, go to Alpha then. . . Runway change, folks. Yeah. Try to change for departure procedure. Let's see, what will Navigraph say if we change to 3-4 right? Well, your Cat 6 is still possible, funnily enough. Yeah, that'll do. Yep, still the same procedure. Fukuoka traffic, Mahora 120 now taxiing to runway 34 right due to runway change via Alpha and holding short Echo 13 Fukuoka. Oop, ET. There we go. Runway change 34 right. Your Cat 6. Tour. We are fast. It's the runway heading. (338). Okay, that'll do. Thank you, the traffic. Only the departure heading will be different, but yeah, everything else quite literally the same. So yeah, no need to change the departure briefing, I suppose.
Fukuoka traffic, Korean Air 782, pushing back gate 54, the facing north star runway 16 left, 16 right. Fukuoka traffic.
Aku duluan ya, Cap. Cabin crew, takeoff stations, please. Yeah, that's the famous flyover near Fukuoka Airport, folks. Let's see. VATSIM radar, just cross-checking if there's anyone coming in. Used to be no. Alright. Pause the music for departure. Cabin crew, take off stations, please.
Fukuoka traffic calling for 715 Mahora, runway 34 right, bucket at Echo 5.
Take a CANA. And Fukuoka traffic, Mahora 120 now lighting up on runway 16 right via Echo 13. Fukuoka traffic. Clear left and clear right.
Traffic calling for 715 report, proceed to spot 9 by Echo, correction Q, Echo in Yankee.
And Fukuoka traffic, Mahora 120 now departing out of runway 34 right via Yokohama 6 departure, Buturo transition, Fukuoka traffic. Okay, start rolling. Stabilize, setting off thrust.
Fukuoka traffic, staff flash 67 lining up runway 134 right at Echo 12 lining at runway 8.
Press set indications, normal 18 hours checked.
V1.
Rotate. Airborne. V2 positive rate, gears coming up. Off we go.
Fukuoka traffic, Platinum Delta 5 now taxi to runway 34 right via Yankee and Hotel Triple right, Fukuoka.
It's quite a massive city, isn't it, folks? Alright, acceleration heights. Flaps 1, speed check, flaps 1. On Fukuoka traffic, Mahora 120 airborne passing 2700, climbing to flight level 410 final. Fukuoka traffic. Flaps up, please. Well, 2000 is the final cruising, is the transition altitude for this evening.
Fukuoka traffic, staff flash 67, take off from runway 34 right.
Bank angle.
Oops, it's a bit too much. Bit too much on the bank angle there, folks. It's quite a beautiful livery suspension, isn't it, folks? 10 minutes into the flight. Bit laggy there, unfortunately. PR's looking good. Set command alpha. Increase the altitude. Selection 14,000 feet.
Flight number 5 now landing up and west, runway 34, Fukuoka.
Okay, that is set. 166 is now the current heading. That is set. 10,000. After takeoff checklist, after takeoff checklist is complete. Yeah, there goes the list of alternate airports. Fingers crossed we will not be needing any of those. The photogrammetry data in Japan is definitely top notch, as you can see beneath us.
Platinum to top 5 now, departing off runway check on the right, after departure sunlight heading 060, direct to Marco, Fukuoka.
Go fully up to level 410. So we've got no ATC. Position set to standard. Standard cross checked. Passing level 140. Now that is checked. And off we go, folks, for a 2 hour and 20 minutes long flight into Sapporo on the island of Hokkaido. be enough speed. There goes our climb. All is already able. Well, forcing traffic coming in towards Tokyo Haneda. Which is quite insane. By the way, folks, in case you have just joined us in this evening's live stream, please kindly give the stream a like to support us with the YouTube algorithm as well, to grow this YouTube channel and the community that is supporting it. On the other hand, you can also share your thoughts down beneath in the live chat if you want to chat along if you want to chat alongside us throughout the group lights. And also on the comment section as well once this live stream has ended. You can also share this live stream with your friends and colleagues in case that you want to share our adventures in the white blue together. And also, if you haven't done so, please kindly subscribe to the Abel Jets Virtual Group YouTube channel for free. And don't forget to hit the bell button just right next to the subscribe button so you will not miss any future contents that we will make. On the other hand, folks, if you want to support us financially, you can also head over to our Sociabus page at www.sociabus.com/Abel Jets Group, or alternatively you can also scan the QR code which is provided on the left hand side of the live stream, and any sorts of financial support contributions will be much appreciated. Some facts include your names being mentioned down beneath on the rolling text, as well as some messages, quotes, or other facts that you can explore through our Sociabus page. With that, let's resume to our normal programming this evening. Unfortunately, we will not be having any flight attendants or, say tensions.ai flight attendants feature. So yeah, there's no area kind of crewmates, considering that I really need to refine this Winwing PAP3 autopilot module with my joystick and others, so that the commands will not override one and another, which was pretty frustrating when I tried to bind the what's it called, intercom transmit command on my joystick, for somehow it detects my Winwing PAP3 module instead. I'll try to sort that out once this live stream ends, because I don't want to risk any CDDs on stream. We've had some fair share of CDDs throughout this history of this YouTube channel, which I don't really want to emphasize or something. Lalo's already airborne in the Mr. Peak, flying the Abel Jets Platinum Airbus A350-1000. On the other hand, folks, we'll do a quick tour on the cabin later on once we've reached our cruising altitude for this evening at platform 410. It's basically the same cabin layout as the one we have in the MahouAir 777-300ER. which to be honest we haven't flown that particular aircraft in quite a while. Yeah, we should definitely revisit the 300ER sometime in the near future. Tracking 058 now. That gives our TOC. Oh, completely forgot about the passenger signs. That'll do. Clocking up some ground speed now, about 505 knots by the looks of it. Well, funnily enough, folks, Kevin is flying on the other group flight from Taipei to Tokyo. Kevin Shu. It's quite a straightforward approach, isn't it? Good taste of arrival. Just to my memory, the other runways here at Fukuoka, sorry, not Fukuoka, at Sapporo, Chubu Centro, not Chubu Centro, sorry, Chitose Chitose. The northern runways are operated by the JSDF, Japan Air Self-Defense Forces. Houses some F-15 units if I'm not mistaken. Almost reaching our cruising altitude for today, folks, at level 340 already. Got 6,000 feet to go. The weathers are looking good by the looks of it. About 4,000 feet to go. About 2,000 feet to go before reaching our cruising altitude for this evening at flight level 410, that is, ladies and gentlemen. Let's check the weather conditions at Sapporo. RJCC, that is. Chitose. New Chitose, actually. QH1006 or 2973. On the altimeter. Visibility is looking good at 999 or 10 kilometers or more. Winds 020 degrees at 6 knots. There's some slight cumulonimbus at 3,000 feet on the base. Fine. 049 is actually our current heading. Current track rather. Unfortunately, the winds are doing us a favor here, pushing us at about 25 knots of tailwind there, although it's actually going to be a crosswind component momentarily, as you can see. 2973. Set that on the standby altimeter. There we go. A function that many Airbus aircraft lacks here, folks. Standby altimeter. Altimeter per select, should I say. But in the A350, I think they've already added that feature. Just, you know, really comes in handy. Guess our cruising altitude. That bit more to go. Once we've reached flight level 41, you're able to do a quick tour on the aircraft's cabin, shall we? It gives the altitude warning. And give or take altitude captured. There we go. Speed, LNAV and VNAV should capture the pre-selected altitude anytime now. Currently cruising at a speed of Mach 0.836, as you can see on the magenta colored speed indicators of the PFD. There we go. Right, let's do a tour on the aircraft's cabin here. We'll open the door. We'll just leave that open. No one's around. There goes the FAP, flight attendant's panel. Don't think we can fiddle with those. That's alright. This is not the iFly, is it? There goes the business class section of the 777-200ER of MahouAir VA, laid out in a 1-to-1 seating configuration. Fortunately, the -200ER does not have the first class, unlike in the 777-300ER, her larger sibling. Considering that, you know, obviously the fuselage is much shorter on this one, and is predominantly, and the type is predominantly used on domestic routes across Japan. Goes the left-hand engine of the Pratt & Whitney 4000, if I'm not mistaken, 4096. Please cross-check that, folks, if you happen to know more than I do, obviously. Still on the business class section. There's the left-hand side engine of the aircraft with the Pratt & Whitney logo, as well as the decals, the art on the left and right-hand side engines. You know, just to add some details or some items so that the engines will not be too monotone. Because to my memory, some airlines in Japan, they do this stuff. They paint, they put some art on the engines of the aircraft, such as Japan Airlines. Their 777 fleet back then was called the Starjet fleet, which, you know, has not an actual star, but you know, a sparkling star being, a sparkling star art being painted on the engines of the aircrafts, as well as each of the aircraft being named with star constellations. ANA used to do the same stuff as well with their 737-500 fleets, which they refer to as the Super Dolphin jet, if I'm not mistaken. Considering that the 737-500 is, you know, quite short in terms of fuselage length, and the nose is pretty similar to a Dolphin's once you take some look at it. But perhaps that's the reasoning behind the naming of the aircraft there by ANA. Well, yeah, the type has obviously been retired, I think, about several years or so. Abe, hello Captain, which plane is this? Hi Abe, hope you're enjoying this live stream so far. Thank you very much for stopping by. We are currently flying the PMDG 777-200ER in the Pratt & Whitney engine variant from Fukuoka to Sapporo in Japan. And we are flying for MahouAir Virtual Airline, which is the Japanese full-service carrier subsidiary of Abel Jets Virtual Group, that is. This you might see, folks, if you are happening to be monitoring us through VATSIM radar. We are currently flying on the western coast of Japan, which means we will not coincide with the other group flight, which is part of VATSIM, if I'm not mistaken, from Taipei in Taiwan to Tokyo, which consists of approximately 40 aircraft, give or take there. It's quite insane. And as I've mentioned earlier, Kevin Chu is actually flying in that group flight. He's actually in the lead, folks. He's the first aircraft they're flying as Japan Airlines 2806 in the 787-9 Dreamliner. He'll be the first to arrive, so yeah, congratulations, Mas Kevin, in case that you are watching the live stream also. Alright, moving on with the cabin tour. That's the Sea of Japan, if I'm not mistaken, on the left hand side of the aircrafts. This is the aforementioned business class, and now this is the premium economy class, laid out in a 2-4-2 configuration. It's not necessarily massive in terms of capacity. You can see here, just about 3 rows. And that goes the usual IFV. Unfortunately, the cropping is not necessarily the best, but yeah, it is what it is. And funnily enough, the symbol there is the 777-300ER, this aircraft's larger sibling. MahouAir also operates, but for its MahouAir International fleet, which goes, which does intercontinental flights with the larger type. Here's the right-hand side of the aircraft. Oh, it's actually an event being held, being organized by JL Virtual folks, by JL Virtual. Yeah, that's why there's a lot of aircraft coming in, about 40 or so, as I mentioned earlier. Yeah, I wasn't aware of the crew flight there, unfortunately. Of the event there, unfortunately, folks. Considering that this is just practically a test live stream to, you know, to examine my recently repaired device, which had some major component changes, unfortunately. There goes the standard economy class cabin, folks, of the MahouAir VA 777-200ER, laid out in a 3-4-3 abreast sitting. As you can see here, and there goes the MahouAir VA logo. If you're interested to know further about MahouAir VA and its history, you can head over to its YS Flight Simulator wiki page, which I think I have mentioned somewhere in the description of this live stream. Alternatively, you can also just type in the name of the airline, and the YS Flights wiki should be somewhere around there. Yeah, it's basically an airline that used to operate as part of a virtual private military contractor in YS Flight Simulator under the umbrella of Grunt Solutions. I think that was back in 2016. So I was actually part of Grunt Solutions back then. So in YS Flight Simulator, we don't only have virtual airlines, but we also had virtual squadrons and virtual aerobatic teams, and more diverse, virtual units than what we have here in Microsoft Flight Simulator, to be honest. Because in YS Flight you can also do aerial warfare in a simulator, not just flying from, let's say, point A to point B, like what we are commonly used to in commercial flight simulation software such as MSFS, Explain, and others. Although I think Explain has some limited aerial warfare features built onto it. Yeah, the primary market for such simulations, commercial simulators, are usually people flying from point A to point B in tube blindness, like the 777 that we are flying this evening. Which, yeah, so back to YS Flight. I was part of Grunt Solutions back in the day in 2016. Was a virtual squadron, or virtual private military contractor to be more precise. And yeah, Grunt Solutions was practically planning to expand into the civilian market, which was not saturated, but we had some players back in the day, not many, but 3 or 4 major virtual airline players, one of them being Abel Jets Virtual Group. And yeah, Grunt Solutions decided to jump into the bandwagon and started their own virtual airline based in Japan, because Grunt Solutions as well is practically based in Japan as well. The name is MahouAir Virtual Airline, which refers to an anime, if I'm not mistaken, because I wasn't the one who gave the name to the virtual airline. It's by my dear friend Nodoka Hanamura. Perhaps if you are watching this live stream also, It's really been a while since we talked to one another. Wish we can talk again, hopefully in the near future. JFX Grid Solutions made MahouAir Virtual Airline back in 2016, and it was also one of the founding members of VA Alliance, if I'm not mistaken, which was one out of the two primary airline alliances, virtual airline alliances in Wise Flight Simulator, the other one being Nations Alliance, which if you happen to know Mahora Airways Virtual Airline as well, folks, which we recently acquired. They were a founding member of Nations Alliance, but you know, it's a story for another time, I suppose. So yeah, Mahora Airways, an airline that we acquired, co-founded a virtual airline alliance that back in the day was competing, not necessarily only competing, but actually collaborating at times with VA Alliance, which is the virtual airline alliance that Abel Jets Virtual Group currently is a member of. Just, you know, quite interesting. But yeah, times changed, and as 2020's come by and COVID struck, and the activities within Grunt Solutions started to fade away. Fortunately, the virtual squadron itself, or the virtual private military contractor itself, was disbanded, and MahouAir VA was left in a dormant state for a year or so. Before then, Nodoka, or as she's commonly referred to as Nikki, she approached me and said, if you want to run MahouAir as part of Abel Jets Virtual Group, so that at least the name of the brand or the legacy continues, and it just doesn't end there, because Abel Jets was still running quite well in the early 2020s. So I said to her, yeah, why not? So there goes the acquisition process, and I think that was like in 2022, MahouAir Virtual Airline officially becomes a member of Abel Jets Virtual Group, operating still out of Japan with a refreshed Breeze livery that you are seeing here. The aircraft used to sport these sorts of... They had two paint schemes prior to this one that we are currently seeing. Although actually we can go outside and see for yourself. There we go. Prior to this livery, folks, MahouAir VA had two other paint schemes. The first one being in a color palette which is quite similar to the current one that we are flying this evening, with predominantly purple, dark blue and light blue paint color schemes. But then a year later or so, they switched their paint scheme and their color palettes into more monotone green, dark blue, green, white, and yeah, I think that was dark blue as well. Their second livery that was. But yeah, the paint scheme and livery itself wasn't as sorry, I'm not trying to berate anyone or anything, but the first livery of MahouAir Virtual Airline, personally to me, was better than its second livery. It's just more eye-catching, and it's more unique. The second one was like a monotone Euro white scheme, if I'm being completely honest here. So if there are any MahouAir executives watching this live stream who happen to run the airline back in the day prior to the Abel Jets Virtual Group acquisition, I'd like to apologize for that. Yeah, that's just my opinion, unfortunately. So yeah, the airline itself once it was absorbed by Abel Jets Virtual Group, had this massive brand, massive image rebranding. As you can see, their logo hasn't changed actually. The logo that you are seeing on the tail, which is basically another aircraft in an aircraft's tail, it's the original logo from the 2016 MahouAir Virtual Airline, but we only, altered the swooshes and the curves of the tail section in the third iteration of the paint scheme of the virtual airline. The logo is original. The fonts that we are using now for the third MahouAir Virtual Airline livery iteration is actually the same font that they used on the first livery iteration back in 2016. And as I've mentioned as well, the color palette is quite similar, but the overall design itself has been completely altered, as you can see here. The primary color of the fuselage is actually not white, but it's a very light hue of blue, which you can probably see. And the underbelly of the aircraft, as you can see, we've got the blue and purple swooshes, should I say, which, as I've mentioned, the color palette, they came from times when MahouAir was starting its operations back in 2016. Let's also set back into the cabin of the aircraft and conclude the interior tour, should I say. Yeah, as I've mentioned, this is the economy class cabin, laid out in a 343 configuration. Let's head back into the flight deck before anything bad happens, which fingers crossed, nothing will. Considering that this is a test sector, not test sector, but a test flight for my recently overhauled device. There goes the business class that we've seen earlier. You know what? I think we can take some photos of the right hand engine here before we head back into the flight deck, shall we? Yeah, I suppose here, somewhere around here. There we go. Yeah, quite a lovely size, isn't it? Yeah. The main island of Kyushu in Japan should be somewhere on our right hand side there, considering that we are flying on the western coast of the country over the Sea of Japan, which I think North Korea should be somewhere on our left hand side, although not necessarily that close. Funnily enough, folks, speaking of which, there is an Air Koryo Tupolev 154M flying from Zulu Kilo Whiskey Sierra. What's the name of the city there? From Zulu Kilo Whiskey Sierra on the eastern coast of North Korea towards Tokyo Haneda. Just, I don't know if it's like a coincidence or something, but yeah. Or there goes an Air Koryo Tupolev 154. An aircraft that is, I don't think it's available for MSFS yet, but I think there is one for X-Plane. Under the call sign of Air Koryo 561. An aircraft that I really wish to, exist at least in MSFS 2020 and 2024, which is flyable on VATSIM. It's one of some Soviet airliners that I like, besides the Tupolev 134. You know, basically the 154 is like an enlarged version of the 134 with another engine on the center of the fuselage, making it a tri-jet, and widening the fuselage as well with some more space for more passengers, cargo and fuel, practically making it a medium haul aircraft, should I say. Yeah, really wish someone would develop some, you know, Soviet or at least modern Eastern Bloc aircraft. That would be very nice, considering that we are starting to see many choices of aircraft, should I say, from Western countries in Microsoft Flight Simulator, like the A350 for an example. It's very relatively new aircraft. 777 obviously. 787 we have them by default, and then more recently I think that is Synaptic Simulations with their A220 or CS300. Sorry, CS100/300 is, you know, currently in motion. And yeah, just some facts for you folks. Abel Jets Virtual Group is actually a massive CS300 and CS100 operator in Wise Flight Simulator. You might notice, folks, the absence of A319s and A318s within our fleet, although we operate quite a lot of A320s and A321s, but logically for the shorter fuselage version would have been operating the A319 and A318. Or yeah, that's just not the case, is it? The answer to that is because we are predominantly using the CS100 and CS300 to fill those roles. And I'm saying the CS300 and 100 names here, the original names of the type, considering that we've had the aircraft type running in the fleet prior to the Airbus acquisition of the program. I think that was like in 2016, 17, I can't recall, but definitely when we started operating the type, in Wise Flight Simulator at least, it was still called the CS300 and CS100 by Bombardier. Okay. Let's see if we've got any ATC coverage. No, still no. Company calling. Yeah, he's away, I suppose. Okay, yeah, he's there. Arrival di Sapporo, runway 02 right ya.
Nggak tahu. Bentar, let me check.
Aku cuma kalau ngecek di Navigraph 02 right sih, nggak tahu kalau real life gimana ya Pak, boleh dicekin flight radar? Sama BTW agak lucu itu di bawah, lihat ada grup flight gede banget sampai kayak 40 pesawat lebih, tapi ATC yang nyala di Jepang cuma Haneda Tower. Oh enggak, ding, ada Tokyo Pros barusan nyala nih. Let's set up for the arrival, shall we, folks? ILS,
last flight to Sapporo, 01 left, or 01 right, man?
oh ya, 01 left atau right berarti ya? Terserah pesawat ya kan berarti?
Yep.
Roger, aku ambil 01 right. Procedure-nya UTAIS UTAIS South RNAV arrival, nama chartnya number 10-2 Quebec, NAVAIR transition, ILS Zulu, runway 01 right. Just use ILS Zulu 01 right, CT.
Sampai ILS Zulu runway 01 right. Startnya apa tadi?
UT 1 South. Kalau disingkat jadi UTAIS namanya.
Oke, Roger. ILS Zulu runway 01 radio UT 1 South ya?
Yoi, yang South.
Roger.
Jepang tuh arrival procedure sama departure procedure-nya sederhana, bang. Jadi apa ya, nggak muter-muter kayak di Indo gitu. Lihat aja tuh, startnya dia straight to the point banget loh.
Mungkin faktor topografi juga, atau gimana?
Bisa jadi ya. Startnya efisien banget tuh, nggak ada pakai diputer-puter kayak di Jerman tuh. Di Jerman kan diputer-puter tuh. Aku masih ingat banget di Munich itu.
Yang di Mesir juga kayak paralel apa gitu. Yang di UAE lupa aku kemarin.
Oh, UAE ya, aku belum pernah ini sih. Pernah sih sekali ke Dubai itu, udah lupa, udah lama banget. Dulu sama Mas Faldo.
Yang kemarin pas puasa itu loh, ingat nggak? Dia kayak apa ya bentuknya? Kayak zigzag gitu.
Oh iya, ada. Cuma aku lupa bandara mana ya kemarin ya. Halfway through.
Aku agak miring gitu, from left. Tail left side.
Iya, kenceng dari kiri kan anginnya.
Ya, pesawatku miring kiri sekitar 2 derajat.
Wah, Tokyo approach nyala tuh. Jarang-jarang lo ada ATC di Jepang.
Lagi rame banget soalnya.
Ini kalau di Indonesia mesti udah itu, apa misalnya Jakarta Control nyala terus jadi berapa sektor gitu. Ini hebat banget nih, cuma ada approach sama tower yang nyala nih, harus efisien ini ngendaliinnya, controllingnya. Kalau kamu lihat juga, itu pesawat yang paling depan Mas Kevin Shu loh itu.
Oh iya, Japan Boeing 789er.
Yoi, di kepalanya sendiri dia. Belakangnya kayak ular itu. Eventnya jauh virtual ternyata, bang.
Aduh, panjang banget ini. Udah berapa apa ini? Yang baru berangkat mesti ada ya.
Makanya itu kan kalau kamu lihat towernya tadi kan itu tower Fukuoka, dia pindah. Dia kan pamit kan di chat. Aku pindah ke Tokyo ada 40 arrival. Hah? 40 arrival? Aku lihat. Oh, pada baru berangkat dari Taipei kayak ular tuh.
Gila. Tapi mereka ngantri banget, tenang. Orang Jepang tuh. Tapi campuran Jepang Cina aja.
Tapi percaya sih bang, efisien sih ATC-nya mesti kalau Jepang bang.
Ya.
349 349 will be our minimum.
Makanya yang penting kayaknya sequencingnya doang sih. Ini tinggal lurus-lurus saya mendarat.
Betul. Just putting up some situational awareness rings here, folks, into the FMC. Go. Alright, that's that. About halfway through our flight this evening now, ladies and gentlemen, according to FlyLab Studios, that is. About 2 hours into the stream now. BTW tesis samang bang.
Ya, aman, sedang dalam tahap membuktikan algoritma.
Mantap, mantap. Info kan kalau udah mau sidang ya bang. Ntar aku coba cari inilah jadwal kalau bisa ke Bandung.
Waduh, jangan gara-gara gitu doang.
Gak apa-apa. Aku kemarin gak enakan banget soalnya waktu Zik sidang kan nggak bisa datang. Aku lagi itu kerja di UGM. Makanya ntar coba cari-cari izin lah.
Iya Pak, ditunggu ya. Tapi ya mungkin expected cepat ya. Akhir Juli sampai awal Agustus mungkin insya Allah.
Aman lah, besok tuh masih ke cover lah. Keren kali bang, besok tuhnya 2 kali.
Tadinya mau ngejar Gus tapi nggak tahu lah.
Ya seamannya aja, gak usah diburu-buru juga. Daripada malah hasilnya aneh nanti.
Daripada karam jadi tempatnya.
Duh, tuh kan, mulai kan. Aku udah 3 minggu bebas dari kehitaman loh bang. Janganlah kau pancing itu lagi. Aku kayaknya tuh kena karma. Aku kualat terlalu JMK, jadinya komputernya rusak kemarin.
Ya. Kayak minggu ini tuh kayaknya 2 kali nginep jadi lah.
Perkoro. BTW kalau kita lihat di belakang ada Air Koryo bang, itu Tupolev 154 Core 561 kode ICAO nya.
Wah, kapal hijau. Hijau yang warnanya lupa.
Putih merah biru nggak sih Air Koryo tuh?
Ya maksudnya dalaman kokpitnya kayak kapal-kapal Rusia gitu.
Oh iya, interiornya hijau Tosca gitu kan?
Iya.
Bahaya. Aku ada teman bang orang IVAO yang suka bawa pesawat Rusia gitu. Katanya kalau pesawat buatan barat kan pakai INS tuh bang, yang Civa itu dia kan masukin koordinatnya kan north south gitu ya. Kayak koordinatnya kan kalau di pesawat western kan north south, kalau di pesawat Rusia itu XY bang katanya bang.
Wah, berarti X itu dari barat ke timur, dia itu dari utara ke selatan gitu.
Kayaknya bisa jadi begitu. Kalau ya tadi itu kan, kalau di barat kan north south east west kan, kalau di pesawat Rusia pakai XY anjir.
Wah, kayak koordinat drone lain.
Makanya. Nah, itu sekarang pertanyaannya titik nolnya di mana?
Jangan-jangan di Indonesia lagi.
Lupa ya, teori konstipasi.
Indonesia kan tumbuh Y-nya udah bener tuh. Nah, X-nya doang, nggak tahu. Apa Greenwich? 00 apa? GMT.
Bisa jadi yang ngikutin GMT ya. Bet 160 miles
Tapi dia
run
dapat
from
itu
our.
dari mana ya pesawat itu? Kalau di Google sih convert dari FSF katanya.
Explain kali bang, aku pernah nonton orang bawa Tupolev di explain soalnya. Nama channelnya Vlad Akimov, Vladimir Akimov namanya. Dan dia sering bawa di VATSIM.
Tapi bawa kapal gituan bikin capek.
Mempersulit diri sendiri sih bang kataku. Kalau di pesawat barat kan nama sistemnya Chiva INS ya. Kalau di pesawat Rusia namanya Ortho katanya teman aku.
Orto ya. Beda main. Tapi dirimu ada cita-cita naik Tupolev gua.
Naik Tupolev ya? Maksudnya dalam kehidupan nyata gitu.
Yes.
So aja kalau ada itunya, ada flightnya.
Siapa tahu mau open trip ke Korea Utara gitu.
Agendakan. Kita kan udah pernah, tapi bawa Boeing sih.
Kayaknya nggak ada di MSFS. Kalau ada nih edisi ke Korea Utara buat Tupolev.
Bahaya. Itu bang aku kasih nama ininya, nama navigation sistemnya kalau di pesawat Rusia. Orthodromic navigation. Itu bang aku kirim di chat ininya. Nama navigationnya kalau di Rusia tuh ortodromic.
Nah, nanti kita pelajari.
Sabi, aku tinggal pipis sebentar ya. Folks, as usual, I need to go to the loo for a minute or two. If there is anything that goes out of the ordinary on the aircraft, please do let me know, as usual. Now, I'll see you folks in a bit. Alright folks, I am back in the flight deck. With the Fiesta Tokyo ground up to Tokyo approach is online, Haneda ground that is. There's quite a lot of controllers considering that it's quite a massive event coming in towards Tokyo. About 103 miles to top of descent there, but you know, it's just, it won't hurt to do the arrival briefing now, shall we? So folks, let's start the arrival briefing into Sapporo, New Chitose Airport that is, from Juliet Charlie Charlie. As we can see, we will be taking the Yotei South RNF arrival. Initial waypoint will be MAVA, and directly towards Yotei at 2,000 feet or more, and into the airport as we can see there. The MS area, the Chitose VOR on the western side of the aerodrome is 5,500 feet or more. On the northeastern side on the other hand is 4,500 feet, and 4,200 feet on the southeastern side. Airport elevation is 70 feet above the sea level. Transition level will be at flat level 140. DME, RAU, IRU or GNS is required, which we do have. Radar service required. Let's assume that we do have radar service by the ATC. Routing from MAVA to Yotei or at about 2,000 DME gap between MAVA to Yotei, about 19 DME. These are the critical DME on the route segment from Charlie Hotel Echo VOR, 19 miles to Yotei, and then to Yotei. We will be taking the ILS Zulu approach into runway 01 right at New Chitose, Sapporo that is. The localizer frequency will be at 110.5 MHz. Let's just crash track that on the aircraft's navrad page. There we go, 117.75 with a final approach course, final approach heading off 002. Continuing on to the the approach procedure. Final approach course as we have seen is 002 degrees. Platform altitude at Yotei will be at 2,000 feet. PMD is going to be at 257 feet. But considering that there is a crane nearby, we'll just be using this one. There we go. There is a crane nearby. This increases the MDA to 309 feet. Plus 40 makes it 349 feet. We've discussed the MSA here around the Chitose VOR. In case of a misapproach, we'll climb to 700 feet on a heading of 002. Then turn right inbound via the Mike Kilo Echo VOR, radial 335 Mukawa that is, as you can see there, to the MKE VOR and hold at 5,000 feet and contact Chitose approach. This approach climb gradient should be at least 5% or more. As we discussed, the transition level is flat level 140, similar to the transition altitude, and the simultaneous push authorized with RJCC, runway 36 left. I think that's the other runway there, the military runway. Yeah, it's this one. It's the military runway at the New Chitose Air Base, if I'm not mistaken, which houses some F-15 units. Chitose, caution, do not approach the Chitose, can be mistaken for New Chitose. Yeah. Chitose is the air base here, folks, on the left hand side of the aerodrome. The military air base. Temporary procedure to the crane up to, between March 16th of April 2025 up to 31st of March 2026, as we've discussed. It's a standard 3-degree glide slope all the way to touchdown, as you can see here. And the minimums we've discussed about the RVRs for the category D aircraft is 650 meters. Triggering to land is permitted to the east side of the runway only, because there is some terrain on the western side as well as the military air base, as we've mentioned earlier. Airport info. This is for the power out procedure. Should be good. We won't be needing that, hopefully. On regards of the arrival itself, we'll try to vacate via Bravo 5 or Bravo 4. Auto brake 3, that is, crossing 0 watt left and perhaps into Delta 6, then Hotel 3, then into the stands, as we can see here, of Hotel 4, whichever is earlier. Primary threats for this evening will be pilot complacency, unfamiliarity with the region, as well as, not being necessarily proficient for the last 3 weeks or so with the aircraft type. Besides any of those, do you have any questions, comments, or concerns, Cynthia? No? I should complete the arrival briefing then. Okay. Descent checklist, please. Recall. It is checked. Notes checked. Auto brake level 3. Landing data. VREF 129er. Minimums 349 of feet. Approach briefing is complete. Descent checklist is completed. We'll set the initial descent altitude to flight level 140, which is the transition level here in Japan. Level 140 set. Should be ready to descend momentarily. Hope you are enjoying the live stream so far, ladies and gentlemen. About 3.5 hours into the flight this evening. Almost there, folks. Should be over our top of descent any time now, by the looks of it. We'll select the bank ankle selector back to 125. No, actually, auto, that'll do. So 29er. There goes the northern coast of Honshu. You should be momentarily heading over to the island of Hokkaido. It's our TOD. Our top of descent, ladies and gentlemen.
Aku descend ya bang.
Roger, cap aku juga resetting.
aku boleh minta tolong ini ya. Minimum di approach berapa ya?
309 cap.
Oh, 309.
Bang, coba cek WA. Aku lagi mengetes sesuatu soalnya.
Mana bang? Waduh, kan sudah saya bilang beberapa bulan yang lalu.
Bilang apa bang?
Bilang itulah ya.
Ada apa ya? Tidak terjadi apa-apa kan bang?
Ya, yang penting laptop selamat loh bang.
Alhamdulillah.
Bang, ganti kepala laptopnya.
Ganti motherboard bang. Keluar banyak duit bang.
Perkoro.
Bokeh aku bang sekarang bang. Quite a steep nose altitude on this end. They let it show it about 2.5 degrees down. Bit unusual for Boeings, is it? Boeings usually descend on a flat pitch angle, should I say.
Itu bang, bukan WA, masih banyak sih yang belum sebenarnya kalau di bawah.
Apa ini? Ngawur, itu yang baru rilisan ini kan, Wing di FS Expo kan?
Iya, beli tiller bang kalian.
Buat apa tiller anjir? Make sense.
Biar pesawatnya nggak kayak bawa Cessna bang, pakai rudder buat belokin.
$82 itu 1,2 juta loh bang.
Nggak apa-apa bang, nanti 2 minggu lagi pasti ada tuh.
Ya, bismillah aja lah ya. Aduh. Ini apa anjir yang $77 ada? Oh alah, ikan. Ini apa $77 ada ikan, terus transponder panel $133 anjir landing gear. Ini landing gear switch.
Ya kalau pakai kurs Inggris atau mana nggak berasa sih.
Amin, gajinya pound sterling. A bit wee fast there, folks. Brakes, brakes, brakes. Itu lucu banget, weh, ada yang sampai panel iCam-nya Airbus segala. Buat apa lu?
Buat bikin replika 100%. Kita tinggal beli kepalanya Boeing atau Airbus di mana, di apa, tempat pembuangan pesawat.
Casingannya tinggal laser cut aja nggak sih itu ntar anjir. Apa frame cockpitnya tuh lo tinggal laser cut aja di itu sama rada.
Laser cutnya segede berapa tripod betul.
Banyak-banyaknya anjir. $15,000 feet there, level 157 to be precise. We'll be selecting the QNH, or the local QNH at about flight level 140-ish. Tapi kalau jujur ya, kalau kamu compare bang, produk-produknya Winwing itu kalau sama pesaing-pesaingnya dari Eropa, dia cenderung lebih murah loh. 10,000.
Kalau dilihat berapa sih emangnya ya?
Iya, untuk produk yang kurang lebih sama gitu. 273, that is set. Passing for level 1. Level, sorry, passing 13,000 feet 400 now, check. That is set. Quality sejauh ini Winwing aku jarang dengar ada masalah sih bang. Memang UI programnya apa sih Pro kurang intuitif, tapi di luar itu aku nggak pernah dengar komplain sih. Yang aku pernah dengar komplain malah ini Thrustmaster yang yoke Boeing itu, katanya dia cuma plastik murah gitu, terus gampang rusak kalau katanya British avgeek.
Oh, iya.
Pro checklist, altimeter 273, check pro checklist is complete, standing by for the landing checklist. I will lower down our altitude to 3,000. Level 140 bang, sama kayak transition altitude-nya. Yeah, 10,000. Cabin crew, 10 minutes to landing. Satu Cina nyala ATC-nya BTW. About 10,000 feet will pause the music for arrival.
Wah, sampai perbatasan Kyrgyzstan Tajikistan ya.
Yoi.
Tadi malam aku cuman lihat itu Papua Nugini centernya lah.
Oh ya, Port Moresby Center ya.
Iya.
Kontrolernya orang PNG apa dari Australia?
Nah, lupa lagi namanya.
Biasanya kan staff Fatpak gitu kan yang ngurus kan. VATSIM apa Pacific. Cabin's ready.
Yang di Haneda diputar-putar juga sih akhirnya itu ada beberapa.
Oh iya. Approach course 002. That is set. Approach altitude, that was like 5,000 feet if I'm not mistaken. Yep, 5,000 feet that is. Yeah, about 2 hours of flight time there, or block time rather. Oops. Ten to 2,000. Aku switch to Unicom ya bang for landing.
Roger.
There goes the island of Hokkaido, folks, with the city of Chitose somewhere around there, and Sapporo should be somewhere on the northern side of the aerodrome. There goes the airfield. Clear skies all around us. It appears to be this evening. No waves at all, even down beneath. Alright. Localizers alive, both sides. India Charlie Hotel, 15 DME. Laps 1 please. Approach mode. Localizer captured. Sapporo traffic Mahora 120 is established on the localizer runway 01 right. We are about 10 DME. Sapporo traffic. Flaps 5 please. Speed brakes armed. Cabin crew seats for landing. One, two, three will be our approach speed. Set glide slope captured. This approach altitude set 5,000. You'll just lower the gear now to help the aircraft decelerate. Gears coming down.
$2,500.
80 altimeters alive. Increase seats for landing, please. Flaps 10, sorry, flaps 15. Miles. Flaps 20. Flaps 25. Flaps 30 landing. Letting checklist, speed brakes on, letting gear down, flaps 30 green, letting checklist is complete. Land 3. Sapporo traffic, Mahora 120, short final runway 10 right, correction runway 01 right, Sapporo traffic. There's some golf course on the southern side of the aerodrome it appears to be. It's connecting on the bottom of control. Check. No winds at all.
Approaching minimums. 300. Minimums.
Continue.
$100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Down, speed brakes up. Versus normal. $60 knots. Minus 212 feet per minute, ladies and gentlemen. You have floated quite a lot on final, unfortunately. Auto brake to some, manual brakes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to New Chitose International Airport, near the city of Chitose and Sapporo on the island of Hokkaido. Thank Thank you for flying with MahouAir Virtual Airline. Hope you are enjoying the trip so far. Sapporo traffic runway 01 right has been vacated and Mahora 120 now crossing runway 01 left. Sapporo traffic. There's no one else on the airport besides of us, so I'll just cross the runway here. We should have not turned those lights off for starters. Back in. Sapporo traffic, runway 01 left has been vacated. Sapporo traffic. Safe landing, Cap Lalu.
Alright, Sapporo traffic, starting out of flight now, Japan runway 01 right, Sapporo.
FD's coming off. Just take that gate, shall we? Rolls Royce. I know, just Royce. Okay. GSX. Gate is this, gate number 11 I suppose. We'll just take ramp number 11. Go. Cabin crew, disarm doors and slides please. Come on.
Sapporo traffic planning over the 5 Japan runway 01 right, Sapporo.
Unfortunately, the marshaller is behind that jetway. Can't really see him. Or her, actually. Yep, there we go. Brake sets! Set to hold. Shut it down engines. 1, 2, now. Box! Completely forgot about the APU. This is why... yeah. This is why we should stay proficient, folks. Fortunately, it was just the left engine that I shut down. The right engine is still operating, which means the right bus is being powered by the sorry, the left bus of the aircraft is being powered by the right engine, whilst we wait for the APU to spool up. funnily enough, we've overshot the markings there. So we don't have any GSX profiles for this airport, unfortunately. Bit laggy. Stuttery, to be precise. Well, they should be somewhere on short funnel now. There it goes, already touching down. You can see the A350.
Sapporo traffic, runway 01 right, has been back at the stand now. Parking of the 5, crossing runway 01 left. Sapporo.
Let's see if the APU is actually active. Nope, it's running. Putting down the right hand engine. There we go. Let the APU load. Fuel pumps. Trolleys. Emergency lights. Brakes are set. EPU running. Shutter checklist. Hydraulic panel set. Fuel pumps coming off. Parking flaps up, no lights. Parking brakes set with the radar. Off. Pit down checklist is complete. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to New Chitose International Airport in Sapporo, and thank you Slalu on our left hand side again, already parked. What interesting. Oh, hello there. Take a look at his left landing, sorry, at his nose landing gear, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty funny. Alright, let's request GSX for deporting. Unfortunately, the model matching for the aircraft is basically just, you know, the default Inibils A350-1000 model, which I set up as a model matching. Alright, let's set the GPU and the air conditioning units. Set shocks first. Release the brakes. Ground power units and air conditioning units. And we can fire down the APU now. Power down the APU rather. Be up here. Oh, the APU is coming off. There goes our lovely aircrafts. Parked next to the also outstandingly beautiful Abel Jets Platinum Airbus A350-1000. Although the landing gears are not necessarily in the most correct position, should I say. Okay, there's someone else coming in into Sapporo. It's a Jetstar Japan Airbus A320. Jetstar Japan 1170 Orange Liner 117. Nonetheless, folks, it's been a relatively uneventful first flight on the new device. The recently overhauled computer. The only major issue would be the lack of sane tensions to the AI flight attendants, because as I've mentioned, my recently purchased Wind Wing PAP3 somehow interferes with my joystick, which means I cannot really bind my joystick buttons to the same tension sap, which, you know, I'm thinking about unplugging the Wind Wing autopilot panel, then setting up the key binding for the joystick for the intercom switch in the intercom toggle in the same tension sap before then reconnecting my PAP3 autopilot panel back. But as I've mentioned earlier, also I'm not willing to do that in stream because, you know, it might cause some CDDs, as we have experienced several times in this YouTube channel's history, which, you know, it's very frustrating at times. Because the APU is shutting down, by the way. We set the MCP of the aircraft. Flight directors are indeed on. Well, pilot panel is indeed off as well. And let's do some plane spotting on the arriving aircraft, shall we? Jetstar A320. It's quite a lovely terminal, isn't it? The design, the half circular design of the terminal at Sapporo. It should be somewhere around there. On the other hand, folks, the F-15 base, Chitose Air Base, that is, should be positioned somewhere on the other side of the aerodrome, which is about there, just behind those tree covers, should I say.
Sapporo traffic, Orange Liner 11710 mile final, ILS 01 left, Sapporo.
Because the other traffic coming in. And that's the military airbase, as I mentioned, on the western side of the aerodrome. Yeah, don't think it's modeled, unfortunately. Oh, it is actually, folks. Not all of part of the aerodrome, but some is. You can see some custom handcrafted hangars there, military hangars. Yeah, somewhere around there. That's Chitose Air Base, ladies and gentlemen. Can't really recall which squadrons are stationed there, but they are some of them are definitely F-15 squadrons, F-15Js and BJs, if I'm not mistaken again. Please do correct me if I'm wrong, folks, through the live chat as such. Let's just wait for that Jetstar A320 to land before we'll then conclude this evening's live stream. She's on a short final now, it appears to be. Should be on short final now. Yeah, I can definitely hear the roars of the jet engines. There you go. Orange liner 117 if I'm not mistaken. Down he goes. Now. Touchdown. Welcome to Sapporo. I think that's the model matching provided by AIG Traffic. Or FSLTL could be any of them. Alright folks, with that I think we can we can officially conclude this evening's live stream. Yeah, unfortunately Eric is not flying along.
117 vacated 01 left, taxiing Hotel 4 into the ramp, Sapporo.
Alongside us this evening, because as I've mentioned, my say intentions AI app is not necessarily working at its optimum conditions, which I will try to tweak after this live stream. On the other hand, I would also like to deliver my gratitude to Fumiya Morisawa from VATSIM Japan for controlling Fukuoka Tower during our departure in this evening's live stream. And also, as always, I would like to thank Lalu Muhammad Al-Hadad from Abel Jets Virtual Group for joining us in this evening's group flight. Quite literally, as I've mentioned, one of the most consistent men I've ever met. And with that, we can officially wrap up this evening's live stream, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned in the Abel Jets Virtual Group YouTube channel for our next adventures together. And before you leave, folks, please kindly hit the like button. Share your thoughts down beneath in the live chat and in the comment section. In the comment section as well once this live stream has ended. If you haven't done so, also please kindly subscribe to the Abel Jets Virtual Group YouTube channel for free and hit the bell button just right next to it so you will not miss any future content that we will make. If you want to support us financially, you can also head over to our Sociabuzz page at www.sociabuzz.com/AbelJetsGroup, or alternatively you can also scan the QR code which is available on the left hand side of the live stream. And any sorts of donations or financial support will be very much appreciated. With that, folks, I think we can officially conclude this evening's live stream. Again, thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, wherever you are watching this live stream from. This is Freezing Falcon from Abel Jets Virtual Group signing out. Thank you very much for keeping our dreams aloft, and we shall see you guys hopefully in the next one. Until that time comes, stay safe, take care, and bye bye for now.
It all started with a dream to connect the world, bring people closer together, as well as to diversify and unite the virtual skies. The day dawned crisp and clear at Honolulu International Airport. A maiden flight was going to take action.
Honolulu delivery, Abel 100 at seating 01, with information Alpha requesting IFR clearance to Hilo. Abel 100, Honolulu delivery, you are cleared to Hilo via Pale 3 departure, runway 04 left, squawk 1112.
Hilo ground, Abel Link 221, ready to taxi.
Abel Link 221, taxi link point runway 26 via Echo Alpha.
Taxi to link point runway 26 via Echo Alpha, Abel Link 221.
Abel 100, wind 22 degrees at 5 knots, runway 26 right, cleared for takeoff. Cleared for takeoff, runway 26 right, Abel 100.
Our founders have their legacy etched upon the horizon. Gaining wisdom from the past, it was then time for the next generations to put their own footprints and leave their legacy in the virtual skies. A new era was about to begin.
from all of us in flight simulation communities.
We are wishing Abel Jets Group
happy 10th anniversary.
Happy 10th anniversary.
Thank you for keeping our dreams aloft. Here's to another 10 years of making progress to connect the world. To the skies, stars, and what lie above all of them, our real journey has just begun.